Now that we created the main part of the object, we're going to create all the buttons and the little details. So the buttons are going to be made out of an extrusion, which is the actual offset of the old which we created. So if you go from the top view and you put your curves, we will ungroup everything, and you see those curves which are here. Actually, it's already also a group. Let's ungroup everything. So those things are going to be an offset. So an example here. So let's take this one here and group it, and then we're going to offset this. Offset it of 0.05, like this here, and then we're going to extrude this. So extrude this curve, and to know where until where you want to extrude them, you can simply go in a side panel, so either left or back, and display your picture and bring it to where it seems to be on the picture, which is 1 millimeter. We also wanted to go inside our geometry, so we're going to extrude it of 3 millimeter, like this. Press enter, and then move it down of 2 millimeter, so -2 here. Like this. Also, this button has a little chamfer here. So this detail is made out of a chamfer, and the chamfer is then filleted in both ways. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the chamfer option here, chamfer edge, and then so at the moment the chamfer is 1, distance of 1. So let's see if you double click on the edge to have the entire all the edges of the surface. Press enter, and then it's too much. So let's try with 0.1. Press enter. And if we look at the reference picture, let's try with another one, just to see, because we don't have the object, so we can't measure it. So it's only by eye. So try with 0.3 maybe. .3 is too much. So maybe 0.2. 0.2. I think 0.2 is okay. We can put it into wireframe and actually look where on the picture it stops. And I think 0.2, yeah, is fine. So let's keep it at 0.2. And so that was the 0.2 chamfer, and then there is a little fillet of probably even less, so 0.0, let's say 5 of here and there. Yeah. So our button is created, so we can now multiply it to fill our holes here. So go from the top view, put it shading mode, select your button, duplicate it many times, and then 2 ways to have it aligned. So either you align them individually with vertical center and here the center of the hole, or either you align the last one here, so vertical center, and then you select your buttons and you create and use the distribute tool, so on the X axis, like this. All right, so then for the LEDs, so those are LEDs, and they don't seem to have any kind of gap between this and this, between the aluminum part and the translucent part. So we're just going to extrude this part like this. Of maybe actually we can extrude it till here, till the thickness of the actual object. So on the left you go in wireframe here, and then we can duplicate this. So do the same here, align vertical. Like this, and we can also took those and put it here inside for the other LEDs. The thing is, it would be nice to create a layer for that. So let's call it LED, and let's put all our LEDs into it so that we can instantly select them if we want. So select them here, here, and there. Move it there. Change object layer, and then we can move this here. So duplicate it, align it, horizontal center, and then we're going to do this. And actually the layer is not active, so we just created it into the default layer. So double click on the LED layer, and while this is selected, do change object layers. Change object layer. Okay, so then duplicate this. Like this, so align horizontal. Align horizontal. And like this, yeah. Okay, then we can do the same here. So here you can use, I think we can just duplicate the edge here and extrude it like this. Extrude curve till there, and then here. So actually, if we change the LED layer and put it to red, you'll see easily where you put your LEDs, like this. You can do the same for buttons actually, so you can put those into the button layer that you're going to create. Buttons, so we move it here, change the black layer, then we're going to do the buttons here. So in the same way, so we're going to select this curve, offset it. So I think we said 0.5, and so actually the curve we created is red because we are still in the LED layer, but change this curve to be there. And then we're going to extrude it in the same way we did with the other one. So I think it's going to be an extrusion of 1. It seems to be less high, actually. Slightly less high, so we can extrude it of maybe 2.8, so that we can move this of 2 minus 2, so that it enters. Then we'll put, let's look at the detail of how is this. So this has the same detail as those. So we're going to do a chamfer followed by a fillet. So 0.2, enter, and then a fillet here of 0.05, like this. And then we'll do the two buttons which are here also. So let's check. Yeah, two buttons here, the screen, and here a knob. So here, let's take this offset of 0.5 here, extrude it off. So in order to know here, you can go in this view. So this is going to be 1 millimeter. So let's type 3 for the same reason as before here, and then we can move it -2 and put our chamfer followed by our fillet. So chamfer and then fillet, like this, and then we can duplicate this here, align it like this here. So for the screen, it's not really clear how it is, but let's say that it's going to be just a piece of transparent material that's going to be slightly offsetted, a bit like our LED actually. Let's look at it. Yeah, so we're going to use this. Maybe the trick here is not to put any offset. Actually, we're going to put one, because if we render it and the surface touch and one material is transparent, it's going to cause problems. So let's offset it, but of something really low. Yeah, the same, 0.05 is fine. Then extrude it like this, and we will put the, it's not a chamfer that we want here, it's a fillet, and so we'll put it later because we want to first do the other things. So this button is done, this button is done. Okay, so now we can create the one here for the sliders. So go from the top. So you see that the button is actually slightly smaller than the hole in which it sits. So create a circle that starts in the middle of this piece here, and then do it exactly at the correct size, and we're going to the correct size of the outer boundary, and then we're going to offset it. So offset of, let's say, yeah, 0.5 again, like this here. Actually, let's look at the reference picture. Seems to be a bit more. So let's say maybe let's offset it of 0.1. And let's extrude it here. So it needs to be extruded of 1.5 millimeter, like this, plus the height, and the height of that goes out of the main part is going to be this, from here to here. So extrude it here, extrude. So here we have 1.5. So let's extrude it of 3, because this was 1.7. So let's extrude it of 1.7 plus 1.5. So it's going to be 3.2. So 3.2, like this, and then we can lower it down of 1.5, like this. And then we're going to put a little chamfer here. It's probably the same if you look at the reference picture. it seems to be a bit more, so maybe if this was 0.2, let's try 0.3 or 0.4. So 0.2 makes this. Let's try 0.4. Too much. So let's try 0.3 here, and then a little fillet here. And that's perfect. So we're going to duplicate our button again. Like this. We're going to align them one by one. Like this. So now we can do those buttons here. So from the front here, so let's go there. Let's offset them. So this needs to be extruded of 0.7. Let's say 1, so 1, so 1 plus 2 is 3. So let's extrude it of 3, move it of 2, and then we're going to put the same details. Chamfer, not of 3, let's keep it as the same as those ones, so it's going to be 0.2. Here, no, it's 0.3, 0. Select here, and then you can add a little fillet here. Place it here. So you want to put it exactly aligned with this, so align it, align vertical, and then search for the center. Yeah, like this. So in this way, and now we're going to do this button here. So this button here, let's see, do we have a reference of this? Well, we don't, but there is on this video on YouTube, I found this perspective view of the object, and it seems to be just a cylinder on a base with a little chamfer, with a little fillet on it, and it's partly going to be knurled, so same as those ones. We'll see that it's different to do the knurling for this and for that, mainly because those knurlings can easily be made in Keyshot, while this one is a bit more tricky because you have those little cuts here which make it difficult to do the knurling to the top without messing up with this part. So we're going to modelize it flat for the moment, and we'll see later how to add this knurling. So here we're going to create a base, offset, extrude, then from the top we'll see how big is the knob. Seems to be this. And then you can align it with the top here. So align it with the top of the object. Extrude it here and then there is a little part here at the top. So it's probably going to be this, something like this. And then we're going to do as for the other part, we're going to simply extrude it like this. So it's what, 0.25, okay, so 0.25 plus, so 0.25 plus, let's say 3, so it's going to be 3.25. So we can just move this off -3, like this, and we can use the Boolean difference to remove this part inside. Okay, and there is a fillet at the top. Which seems bigger than that, actually. It seems to be, maybe let's try with 0.2. Seems to be right, like this. And then there is a detail here, also like a cut into the thing. So to create this part, we can use the pipe tool, maybe. So create an horizontal line, which is larger than the button. Center it. Then maybe we can cut this line with that. So split this like this. So you have two curves. And then I think it's better to put the chamfer first here, actually. Let's join those two pieces here with the Boolean tool, then fillet, and here we can put, so at the moment it's 0.2. Maybe it's a bit small actually, so maybe let's try 0.5. Yeah, I think it's better. And then now we can move this of, I don't know, minus 0.5, like this. Same for this one, 0.5. And we're going to pipe this, and those pipes, we're going to use them to actually remove a little bit of volume inside this. So use the pipe tool, type pipe. We want something really, really, really thin. So maybe 0.2, let's try. 0.2 is too big, so maybe 0.1. Select rails. Okay, select both rails. Pipe 0.2. Maybe we want a cap which is rounded. So select rails. Pipe 0.2. Cap round. And then let's look at it. And then now the idea is to remove this out of this, but this is still too thick actually, so let's do it again for 0.1. 0.1 here. Yeah, it seems to be correct. And then we can use the Boolean difference here and see what happens. Let's hide those two parts. Seems to be fine. Yeah. Maybe it just seems not to be centered at all. So let's remove those parts, and maybe we can select our pipes here and align horizontal, and then select the center. And yeah, you see it was not aligned, so Boolean difference here and here, and that's better. Okay, now we can hide this here, these two. So this one is done. Now we want to do those little ones, so we're going to extrude one offsetted part. So this one, for example, offset 0.05 here, and then we want to extrude it of this distance, which seems to be 7.5, and we want 2 additional millimeters, so it's going to be 9.5, so 9.5 here, and then you move it down -2, like this, and we're going to draw the little detail at the top, which is this one here. So to do that, from the top you're going to draw us a circle, which is going to be like this. Actually, first duplicate the edge of the top, like this here, and we're going to offset this. Use a through point, and then you're going to move it as you think it matches the picture, so like this, and then we're going to draw a rectangle like this. Select this rectangle and bring it to the top, so you can, from the left or the back view, you can align it to the top. So align top, and then where is your thing? It's here. Okay. Then you want it to be aligned, the center of the rectangle to be aligned with the center of the circle. So align vertical like this. Maybe bring it smaller like this. And then we are going to cut those parts. So select those two curves, trim like this, curve and the curve, and now you can join everything. And we want to cut this thing here. So we want to use this curve to cut this top here. So let's cut it here. And now we want to use this to cut a part of here. So you're going to use the split tool this time. And so first select this and then split tool, and then select this, press enter, and then it will have splitted the piece. So you can then delete this part here and then join everything like this. So now you can extrude the curve. Maybe here we want something which is not sharp. So now this is too curved, but maybe a radius of 0.1 like this. And then we're going to extrude the curve of maybe 0.5 millimeter, and then Boolean tool, Boolean difference, you know it now, and then you have this. So that's the main detail, and we want to add a little fillets here, but also inside. In order to do that, the normally easy way to do it is to simply use the fillet option and maybe select one. You do this. This is too big, okay. And maybe do 0.3 is too big, so 0. Actually, to know if it's too big or not, you can measure the distance between here and here, so it's 0.55, so it means that the fillet needs to be smaller than half of this. So if you do a fillet of 0.3, it's going to be more than the double of this, is going to be more than the distance between the two. So here, instead of 0.3, we can do 0.2, like this, and it works perfectly. And you can do the same here. Maybe it's too big, so 0.1 here, and that happens sometimes. It doesn't work when we do only this part or this part, so we can try to have everything filleted at the same time. So if we fillet this part and this part and this part, it might work. Yeah, it's working, but this maybe is a bit too big. No, it's fine. Okay, so that's how we do this button, and we'll see later how to actually create the knurling. So we can duplicate it. Here. Align, and then horizontal. No, actually, this. And then I advise you to actually group your things, and then as previously, we're going to duplicate it, and we can align this with the other geometry under, like this. Align vertical. Like this. So now we only have left to do, the only thing left we have to do is this button on the side. So what if we move these colors, those colors? Okay, everything is in the button layer, great. Okay, so now for this one, it's slightly different because it's going to be a flat extruded rectangle. No, it's going to be an extruded rectangle with round corner, which is on a cylinder in order to be able to move. So to do this, we can go in the perspective mode, no, in the top view, sorry. Then we can create a rectangle with rounded edge. So this is the border of the holes that we created. So we want to do something slightly smaller. So something like this. It's fine if it's bigger. Actually, you need to make it much bigger, the rectangle, something like this. Then you create the roundness of the thing. And then we are going to extrude it. So we're going to do this by eye, as most of the thing in this tutorial. So maybe let's measure this with the distance tool. So here we have 1.4 millimeter. It seems to actually be careful also to disable this when you measure something on the picture, because you might snap on something which is not on the same plane, so the distance is going to appear much bigger. So this seems to be maybe, I would say 1.3. So let's extrude this of 1.3, extrude curve 1.3. It's right here. We're going to center it. So maybe remove those pictures. No, you need those pictures. It's only this picture which is annoying. So front picture. Yeah, remove this picture like this. Yeah. Okay. So align this here. And I need in the middle of the button. Oh, you have to re-enable the snap option. So make sure to snap it here. And then from the side, we're going to create a cylinder which is going to basically hold this little piece. So you can create circle like this, and this is the border of the hole, and this is the border of the thickness. So the edge of this cannot go further than this here. So if you look at it, so look at your perspective, the perspective view, it's a bit too busy actually to work on this, so remove all the pictures. So front picture 2, and then here maybe delete this also. So I'm trying to select the border of the hole so that we see from the other view what's the side of the thing. Okay, so it's this side. So if you draw a circle which starts in the middle here and which goes like this, you see that it's going to be at this border. Maybe you wanted to have it a bit bigger so that you can offset it on the left. So let's do something like this. Let's move it here like this. Yeah. And then we're going to extrude it. So from this side to this side. So go in the front, in the top view, extrude curve, extrude it to the other side here, and then join those two with the Boolean union here, and that's our button. So now the center axis of the button is the center of the circle, so you can rotate it if you want and see that it looks like on the picture, the front picture. Yeah, like this. Perfect. So this button is done, those one are done here also, so that's perfect. So we need this also here. So this is a bit similar to this part actually, so it's just going to be an extrusion. I don't think we'll put any offset. The extrude curve like this. The differentiation would just be because of the fillet that we'll put on it. So now we can do also the screw parts that we see at the bottom. So go into the bottom view here, and then here we're going to draw the screw. So offset of 0.2, 0.1, let's say, extrude it. Because what's happening here? What is this surface doing? Is it sliced or not? It's sliced, but there is something over it. Oh, and this something is actually the when you created the thickness. So what you can do is to remove all the front detail, front picture, curves, LED, and button, so that you only have this left. So we will move this from a specific dimension, so let's move it off 100, so that when we want to move it back, we can move it back off 100. And then we're going to remove this surface, not the entire poly surface, and we're going to join those two edges here. This here, and lower those points to this level, and then we can delete this and recreate a surface between those two. It's a bit tedious, but sometimes those kind of things happens, and you need to solve it in an annoying way. So let's use the set point command, set point, and then you're going to select Z, so because you want all the points to align on the Z axis, press OK, and then you want the points to go there, here, and actually it looks like it's a solid piece, it's a closed poly surface, but it's not. So what you can try is just to explode the surface and join it to see if it works, and it's still open. So you need to check where is it that it's open. So you do show edge of this, and you see that this is there is a naked edge here. So it means that this here, the edge from this part and from this part are not joined, and they cannot be joined. So I think the easiest way would be to just delete this and to cap the entire poly surface. Yeah, and it worked, so it's probably going to be a closed poly surface now. So select it and you see closed poly surface, and that's perfect. Okay, so now you can bring back those two things up, so 100. You can move, you can also offset this because we didn't put any thickness to it so earlier, so you can do offset surface, distance of 1, and actually this needs to be a bit smaller because it's a place where there are the screws, so 0.7, let's say, yeah, 0.7. You can do the same here. So Alt Shift to have a proportional modification and proportional scaling, like this. You will not need it because we are going to redraw it, and then we can do the screws. So that's what we were after the first time. So let's duplicate those two edges here. Let's offset it. So you'll have to do them one by one. Like this, and you can create here a loft that you can then cap. And here you screw, and you can add also, because in the front picture there is this Allen key thingy, so you can add it like this. So with the polygon tool, so we start at the center. This is an hexagon, but if you don't have an hexagon, you can change the number of sides here, like this. So let's do it like this. Then where is it? You know what? Let's do it on the other one and then duplicate the screw. So let's do it here. Here, extrude of maybe 0.5. Align it here. And then Boolean difference here. Perfect, and we can duplicate this. Maybe we can add a fillet. Of 0.05, it's great. Here and here also. Like this. And here we go. Did it work? Yes, it worked. Perfect, and we can duplicate this to go to the other point. Align it, horizontal center, and then align it like this. Yeah, great. Okay, so now here, where is it? On the bottom view, you see there is this part here, which is actually a faux leather, which is a bit recessed. You can see it on the side view also, it's recessed like this. So we are going to create this now. So in order to create this, we will duplicate the edge here, the edge which is here, and then offset it and then lower it. So let's duplicate it. So you can duplicate the edge here, here, like this. Press enter, and then you can use trim option to cut this part. So make sure to select your curve and not something else, like this, and then join it. Join, and then we're going to offset it. Offset, use the through point and offset it till here. And here we want to add a fillet on the curve. So let's add a fillet. What? So it's 0.1 at the moment. Let's try 0.1. A bit too small. So maybe a 1. 1 is too much. So let's try 0.5. Like this. Yeah, that's great. And same here, 0.5. Okay, so now we're going to lower this curve of 1 millimeter. Yeah, I think 1 millimeter is okay. And then we're going to create a loft here. Loft. Hopefully it will work. Yeah, it works. And then now we can close it by using the cap tool. Move it away of, I don't know, 50 millimeter, and we're going to delete this part and extrude the outer edge like this. So select them one by one. You can try to double click. Yeah, actually if you double click it, it will select them all like this. Extrude 1 millimeter, and then delete this surface, this one too, join it, cap, and here you see that it's a bit too angular, so we're going to add fillet. So maybe 0.1 everywhere. supposed to be something which is a bit not as hard because it's fabric. I mean, it's leather, so maybe we can add a fillet which is a bit bigger. So instead of 0.1, let's try 0.5, like this. Maybe it's a bit too much. Let's come back to, let's try 0.2 here. Yeah, that's great. Okay, and then move it back of 50, like this. Yeah, that's great. So maybe remove the pictures and put back all your details. I'll change the color of that also. LED buttons, and it seems we have everything. Yeah. So something we want to do now is to add fillets and chamfer that were missing. So for example, there is a chamfer all around the edge that you can see on the reference picture here, which is similar to this one. Same here. Here you have fillets, so we can add those fillets, and so on. So I would strongly advise you to, first of all, save regularly, but also when you start filleting, before doing all the filleting thing, you can select everything and duplicate it by using the Alt button, and so you duplicate it like this, and here you put all of this into another layer. So we don't want to keep all the curves and everything, so you can use the selection tool and unselect everything you don't want. So you can only select polysurface, for example, and surface. So now when you're going to select things, it's going to have all the polysurface and all the surface selected. So if you move it, you see that all the curves are here and you don't need them anymore, at least for your save. So you can have everything selected, and yeah, like this, and delete all the curve. In another way, you can also, and actually it might be quicker, you can just select the curves by right-clicking on curves and then select everything, and then all that will be left will be everything which is not curves, and we only have surface and polysurface. So it's going to let us only those things. So create a new layer which is called save, and then move this to this layer. So unselect the curves in the selection filter by right click on it. It's going to select everything, select everything, and then change object layer, and here we go. And then we can simply hide this this curve, this layer, like this. So also it might be annoying to work with all those curves, so you can do the same thing here. You can maybe select all your curves like this and decide to put them into another layer called curves. Curve, save, like this, change object layer, and then untick it. And yeah. So now that we saved our geometry, we are going to add the last details, which are the fillet and the chamfer. So here there is a chamfer all around the object. So it's 0.2 probably. So let's add 0.2 here and under. Like this, and then a fillet on top of that. Maybe less, so 0.05. maybe 0.1. Yep. Same here. Then on this one too. So you can move it away of 50. So here we want to add a fillet. So let's add a fillet here, 0.1. And then we see that we have all those little details, all those little errors which appears. So it only appears on one side, not the other one. So maybe we can just slice this in two and then mirror it. So let's do it from the top view or the bottom view. Here, let's draw a curve. And then we're going to trim this part. And then we're going to mirror this one using the same axis. And then we can join everything. Join. And then we can put back the piece here. Then this is alright. Let's do those parts inside. Let's add a fillet of 0.1 everywhere actually. So select all those curves. So now we're going to do the one around the buttons. Like this. Here also. And here. This. So here we need to do it, but it's going to be tricky with this little detail. So let's try it. Let's try to do this and this and this here. And yeah, it didn't create problem actually. That's perfect. Like this. This one arcade, this one is fine. Actually we want, maybe this is not aligned, so move this. Those ones too. Can we see? Actually here I can see on the front picture maybe the other one. Yep. So let's add a fillet 2 here. And here also. Here 2. Here. So here is a chamfer, not a fillet. It's a chamfer with a fillet actually. Like this. So here we also have a chamfer. A 0.05 fillet. Like this. So this one here. Yep, something like this. Here, same here. Fillet. Zero 0.1. This. So we have everything here, here also, here, like that. Here's okay. Maybe around those buttons also. Let's remove our picture like this. Okay, and this one. One here also. Like this. Actually might be a bit too much. Pictures. Yeah, actually there is no chamfer here. But we can still add a fillet like this here. Also on the picture, those are slightly recessed. So actually, to select all your LED LED, you can go in the LED and select objects, unselect this one, and you can bring it a bit down, so like here, like this. Maybe it's a bit too much. Select object, unselect this one. And here you go. You can do the same with this one. Here. And that's all. And we still need to do the face under. So here, if we put back our picture, you see that there are only, we can't really see, but it's probably just a fillet here. So let's fillet it here. Like this. And you can do the same here for this part. You can do the corners here. And here. This. Also here you can add a fillet. Here. We have everything in this side. Maybe here we also want to add a fillet. Let's put 0.05 for this one. Yep, perfect. And now everything is filleted. So it's nearly ready to render. Now we need to close some parts of the geometry, because if we would like to render this, let's say, for example, if we light the LEDs, or if we put a light from a side, because the object is hollowed, we would have some leaks of light. So we're going to solve this problem by first isolating those LEDs from under, so that if this is an emissive material, it's not going to emit also inside. And also maybe we want to close the big holes, such as this one, those ones here, and those ones there, and also the back of here. So to do this, we are going to create boxes inside that we will join to the main body. So go on the top, and we can create a square here. Also a square here. So then we can go from the side view, align it here, extrude the curve. You can put 1 millimeter, it doesn't really matter. And then you're going to join it with this here, like this. And then you're going to do the same with this one here. So you line it, extrude of 1 millimeter, join it, and you can do something similar here. The only difference here is that we are going to create a box which is going to go like this, like that here. So we can move this here, and then actually bring this closer. And then align it with the top here, extrude it of maybe 2 millimeter, and we're going to offset it, and then we're going to bring it up of, let's say, 10 millimeter, delete the top part and offset it, offset the surface of maybe 0.5. Let's try and see. Yep, it's better if it doesn't touch this part here. So yeah, that's right. You can then put it back, so -10, and join it here. Like this. Now we can do this part. So here normally you can insert a jack, so it's basically going to be a tube. So you can extrude this curve, extrude like this of maybe 20 millimeter. Delete this and offset it, offset the surface of 0.5 also. You can duplicate it here. Center it, and we'll do the same on the other side. Center the view here. Actually extrude to, you delete this face, the front face, and then you offset surface, and you can move this. You can duplicate this here. And you can then center it, align it. So align, concentric, no. So maybe you can only select for the snapping tool the center, so that if you do the move tool, you can only select centers, so it will be easier to snap. like this. Like this. Okay, great. And for this one, you can do the same. And if you want to add also a bit of realism, this is a USB-C, so you can add a little the little middle part that in which the USB slides in. So extrude this curve of maybe 1 centimeter for this one. Delete this and offset surface like this, and then you can draw this part, you know, that here, this little thing here. So I'm not sure if it's front, no, back. Yeah. So remove the picture, align this here. Oh. Align this in the middle also. So you can do a line, horizontal, and a line vertical, like this. And I think it's a bit recessed normally. And you can extrude it till the back, like this. Probably it needs some fillets, so let's add a fillet. A bit more, maybe 1. And also maybe 0.1 all around. Yep, perfect. And finally, in the next chapter, we are going to see how to add the knurling on the knobs.